Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from Group 7 TEFLA. The members are me, Ika Yulianing Rias, and Almira, Amalia, Nurul, Laili. Today we would like to present the material about teaching speaking. There are 6 sub-bab material that we will discuss today. The first is definition of speaking. The second is background to the teaching of speaking. The third is the development of speaking skills. The fourth is classroom techniques and activities. The fifth is managing speaking activities. And the last is speaking in the classroom.
What is speaking? When children begin speaking, they experiment and play with the utterances that are made to form words and phrases such as bye-bye or go bye-bye. As they grow, children integrate these words and structure into their real and imaginary play. Play is a vital and important aspect of a child's development, and language is a part of that play. It is important to consider the role of play in first language acquisition because it is a subtle reminder that play is also important in children's second language development. Background to the teaching of speaking. Speaking is equally important in children's overall language development. Children learning English as their native language spend time developing speaking skills. If you were to visit a class for native English speaking 5 years old in North America, you would undoubtedly see children saying fingers place, symbol chants, and rhymes with hand or finger motion. They would also be singing songs with their teacher. Usually, the entire class sits together while everyone sings or chants in unison. This is a regular and important part of the school day because teachers working with young learners recognize how important it is for the children to develop strong speaking skill. The development of speaking skills. Contrary to popular myth, younger children learning English as a foreign language do not develop English language skills more readily than older learners. However, they have a clear advantage when it comes to pronunciation if they begin learning English as a foreign or second language at an early age. Nevertheless, there are some phonemes which English speaking as well as non-native speaking children have difficulty with. It is not uncommon for a 6-year-old child to have trouble articulating R. The S sound as well as th can also be difficult for some children. As a teacher working with ESL or EFL, you should keep this in mind when you are working on pronunciation. Avoid unrealistic expectation. What is known about the development of English language skill in native English speaking children can be used to influence the way that we teach English to ESL or EFL young learners. The expectation for children learning ESL or EFL should not be greater or more demanding than the expectation for children learning to speak in English as their native language. Mean length of utterances or MLU. Educators and linguists examining native English language development look at the chills or MLU. The MLU are the number of morphemes found in a sample of a child's utterances. A morpheme is the smallest unit of meaning in a word. For example, the prefix be means to n is considered to be a morpheme. Thus, the word bicycle is made up of two morphemes b and cycle. The word cat is also a morpheme. There is some debate about what the MLU is for children of different age. However, it is It is widely accepted that very young children produce MLUs which are shorter than older children's. The MLU for a 5-year-old is not going to be as long as that of a 10 years old. For example, a 5 years old might say, "Do I have to go?" Whereas a 10 years old might say, "Yeah, I know, I was supposed to go 5 minutes ago." The expectation for speaking for children should be tailored to their development. Children should not be expected to produce utterances that are beyond their stage of development. For more information about child development, pronunciation, and young learners. As stated above, when young children are learning to speak in English as their native language, they sometimes have difficulty articulating specific phonemes such as th or r. These difficulties and occur due to developmental factors as these difficulties can occur due to developmental factors. As most children grow and develop, they become able to articulate the different English language phonemes. Some native speaking children even need articulation therapy in order to learn how to pronounce certain sounds. Listed in the next slide are the sounds and age when children should be expected to master different English language sounds. It is not uncommon for children to learn many of these sounds at younger age. For 3 years old, sound master are P, N, M, W, H, and all vowels. And 4 years old, sound master are D, T, B, G, K, and F. To 5 years old, sound master are Y and ing. To 6 years old, sound master are E, I, J, H, Ch, or WH. To 7 years old, sound master are R or S or V. 2 years old, sound master are V and th and blends. Overgeneralization of errors. Children have a tendency to overgeneralize grammar rules when they are learning English as their native language. Generalization is a vitally important aspect of human learning and involves inferring and deriving a rule or law. One classic example of overgeneralization occurs with the use of the past tense. For example, I see the movie. I draw it the apple. Overgeneralizations can also occur when a learner takes rules from his first language and applies them to a second or foreign language. For example, a Spanish-speaking child learning English might say, "I like ice cream chocolate," instead of "I like chocolate ice cream." The process of learning one's native language, be it English or another language, requires a great deal of work. When teaching children to speak a second or foreign language, it is important to keep in mind the development of their skills in their native language.
Classroom techniques and activities. There are 9 techniques and activities in teaching speaking, including audiolingual method or ELM, dialogues, using puppets to introduce dialogues, communicative language teaching or CLT, visual techniques, games, talking and writing books, teaching pronunciation, and error correction. The first is audiolingual method. The audiolingual method to language teaching is based on the notion that one can learn language by developing habits based on a pattern of language. There are two important features of ELM which can easily be adapted for the young learner classroom: drills which choral response and dialogues. The first feature typical of ELM is drills aimed at getting learners to practice using the pattern that occur in language. In drill ones, the student listen and repeat the sentences spoken by the teacher. For example, the teacher says, "This is a yellow dress," and then the student follower said, "This is a yellow dress." Meanwhile, in drills 2, the teacher just say one word, then the student says complete sentences. For example, the teacher said blue, and then the student said, "This is a blue dress." The second is dialogues. Dialogues provide learners with grammatically controlled script that they can use in real life. Dialogues can very easily be scripted and turned into child-friendly role plays. Whenever possible, the role play should be based on the types of real and make-believe conversation that children have when they work and play. This is the example of dialogues. Next is using puppets to introduce dialogues. Puppets can easily model different dialogues for children to practice with their classmates. You can also use puppets to show children how to work with a partner or in a small groups. Teachers working with young learners are also often aware that children feel more comfortable talking with a puppet than with an adult. The use of puppets is very appropriate in the young learner classroom. The next activity is visual techniques. One specific technique which help children learn how to work with a partner or in a small group is known as the fishbowl. The teacher can either invite a volunteer to do the activity with him or can model the activity using two or more puppets. The teacher models the activity that the children are expected to do while everyone in the class watches as if the teacher and the volunteer were in a fishbowl. Children then go back to their seats, knowing clearly what they are expected to do. This is the example. After the students make a group, the teacher will ask the students, for example, "Where are the presents?" The students answer, "They are on the table." And then, "Where is the umbrella?" "It is on the table," like this. The next activity is communicative language teaching. Communicative language teaching, or CLT, is an approach and a philosophical orientation that connects classroom-based language learning with the language that learners need in order to communicate outside of the classroom. CLT with children is likely different than CLT with adults in a part because children often enjoy playing the role of an adult or grown up. For example, when replying of flight attendants and an airline passenger to be an authentic activity even though in the real world they will not be, at least in the short term, a flight attendants. The activity can be authentic because it represents the type of authentic play outside the classroom that a young learner might engage in depending upon her interest and stage of development. This type of play is very meaningful for young learners in part because it gives them a chance to rehearse different language that they will use later on in life. For example, you may have played teacher as a child. In CLT, the focus is on getting the message across and helping children acquire fluency. The next activity is games. Play is a purposeful activity and games are a part of playing. As such, games are very appropriate teaching techniques in the young learner classroom. When carefully planned, games offer the advantage of both ELM and CLT games can also structured to maximize English language use. The example of games is concentration, also known as memory. This is a game which can be played with a partner or in a small group. The game is made with two sets of 10 matching cards with vocabulary items the children are studying. The 20 cards are placed face down on a table. Each of a player says sentences prompted by the card that they turn over. If the cards are the same, the player gets to keep them until the end of the game. If the cards are different, then the child places them faces down in the same spot they originally found them. The winner is the player with the most cards at the end of the game. This is the example. In extract 2, two children are playing concentration. Notice how the language pattern can serve as the basis for substitutions. Children are provided with a sentence pattern and then vary it as they see fit. The next activity is talking and writing box. Talking and writing box as a way to learn about children's development and interest. The talking and writing box is made of pictures that children have self-selected and interesting to them. When children are asked to talk about the pictures on their box, they talk about things that are of interest to them because they have selected the picture for the box. The teacher choose a topic each day. Then the teacher have the students tell their talking partner their answer. The teacher usually select 2 or 3 volunteers to talk about their answer. By using the talking and writing box, children are able to personalize the information that they share. As you can see from extract 3, when talking about the picture, children become animated because they are talking about something of interest to them. The next activity is teaching pronunciation. Rhymes, finger plays, and chants help native English speaking children learn how to pronounce words correctly. You can select rhymes and finger plays that focus on a specific phoneme or sounds or set of sounds. Most English language course books certain rhymes, form, and chants as a part of the program. Children may have trouble pronouncing certain English language sounds. For example, children who speak some Asian language may have difficulty pronouncing the English language R and L because of the way that they occur or their native language. A speech therapist introduced me to the use of the mirrors in the young learner classroom. She pointed out that children who have difficulty with certain sound often do not know how to form their lips and mouth in such a way as to correctly articulate the sounds. She was a little bit dubious at first to whether the use of mirrors will help children improve their pronunciation, but was amazed to see how well they work. Her sense is that the mirror probably work so well because they give children an awareness of how easily they can adjust their pronunciation. Tongue twisters are a fun way to teach pronunciation to children learning English as a second or foreign language. Tongue twisters generally have the same phoneme repeated over and over again. It is hard to articulate the same sound over and over again. And the last activity is error correction. Bailey 2005 pointed out that it is not necessary for a teacher to respond to all errors. She agrees and don't respond to all the errors in her classroom. She thinks that responding to too many errors can discourage children from communicating and talking. She likes to handle errors by modeling and providing children with the correct grammar and pronunciation. She decided which error she will focus on. She thinks about the children's development and any errors they may make because of interference from their native language. In extract 4, the teacher noticed the error and then models and the correct response rather than telling the children that they were wrong. As soon as she noticed that more than one child is making the same errors, she stops and reteaches the grammatical construction of the third person singular using the puppets. This way, the error has been corrected and remodeled without embarrassing any of the learner. The teacher then asks the children to respond. The teacher is very careful not to embrace any of the children, but rather just provide a model that the children can copy.
The next, managing speaking activities. Now where it is basic concept truer than in managing speaking tasks with young children. For the pure sake of survival, it is crucial that you have well-planned lessons in order to maintain a certain level of control in your classroom. Well-planned lessons contains activities where children are interested and stay on task. Managing the noise level. During a speaking activity, the noise level alone can quickly escalate and disturb other classes. Teachers who do not use communicative approaches in their classrooms can be especially harsh if the noise level seems to become too high. As part of a well-rounded English language curriculum, children should be given numerous opportunities to speak in class, even though children can get loud, literally in a matter of seconds. Children can be taught a number of seconds to become quiet. Speaking in the classroom. In addition to games, children's course books often have children practice specific language patterns and prescribed conversation. Sometimes it is hard to find activities that only focus on speaking since so many of the packs also contain print which adds reading to the activity. That's all presentation from our group. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.